Hi, Purple Jan here again, Tales from a Broken Brain. Just on my way into the park, and this is a little grazing field next to the park. As you can hear, we're right next to a main road, so it's not very peaceful here, but just stopped to show you the sheep.
We end at 8 o'clock and we have another. I got some stuff sticking out.
People passing by, as you can hear. Thinking of we've got a walk we know going through a farm. Actually, I was thinking of taking you down there next time, that you actually walk through the farmyard, so you see, usually I don't think they've turned the cattle out yet, so you might get there in time to see some of the calves still in the barns, and then beef cattle out in the fields. We'll see what we can do for you. Not so much bird song today, not that you'd hear it over the sound of the traffic anyway. We'll see what there is in the park. Oh, it's Neil now, jumping on his skateboard and frightening the sheep. Okay, let's go into the park. Let's keep going. Let's just film as we go.
Stopped at the sheep.
Yeah, I was just filming a bit of the sheep.
Cool.
So if you'd like to... As you can tell, I'm on my scooter, Neil's on his wheels, and then when I get up as far as the lake, I'm hoping to get off and walk a little way for you. It might be a bit more peaceful by then. We've got to go across another road before we get there. This is a little road up to a private house. And we come up through the car park, and then we go on another bridge across the road that goes from the Horsham Road up to Pease Cottage roundabout. Once we get to the other side of that, it might be a bit more peaceful. Just trying to give the car a lot of space so he knows he's got room to get by. Lots of cars here, so the park's clearly got a lot of people in it. Bluebells are looking pretty. Don't know if you can see them that way. Dog walking paradise is where we bring our dogs up here. And it's just in this garden, just through there, there's a little area that we use for ritual sometimes when we're working public ritual. The Phil Haskell Wild Garden. It's looking very beautiful with the bluebells. And then you've got the countryside centre on that side. And this is the path where we're just going up to just getting up to the bridge here. Many years ago, before they cut this road through, this was just they actually excavated all of this valley that you see that is the road. That's all been removed. It was just a straight walk through the hill. It was just a hill. So goodness knows how much earth they moved for it. But I remember walking just straight over the top of the hill to get to this park, but that was many years ago now. I think they must have cut that road in around about the 80s, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I do remember actually cycling down it before it was open to traffic. It was surfaced but not open to traffic, and you literally just get on your bike at the top and take your feet off the pedals, and like a 10-year-old just go straight down the hill. Right, so we're coming into the park proper now. I can see the lake ahead of me. And so we'll go down. I'll drive round the side of the lake and then we'll get off and have a bit of a walk around later on. Neil, which way do you think we should go?
I could go that way and go
Yeah, so
round.
we'll go down
Where you
this
want to
way.
end up? Just go around the lake. Walk around the back.
And then hopefully as we get further away from the lake, further away from the road, I don't know what I'm talking about now, as we get further away from the road, then hopefully the sounds of the countryside will come through somewhat. This is the old boathouse there, and we, the Friends of Buckham Park, of which I'm a committee member, well, hopefully will be a committee member soon. I go to the meetings anyway, and we need to raise some money to re-roof that. But there's, I think at the last meeting they were saying there's bats roosting in the roof, and so we've got to wait for the appropriate time before work can start on it. And it looks like they've been felling some trees over this side. I always feel sad when I see trees laying. Coming to this park for 40 odd years now. There's the lake there. Despite lockdown, there's, like the forest yesterday, it's full of people today, but people need to get out and get fresh air. You can't just be locked up in our houses the whole time. Oh dear, that's probably a fishing platform, but it's an ugly one. With all that metal around it, it's not attractive at all. Usually they have just the wooden bits for the fishermen to go on. I'm a lot stick in the mud. I'm not a great lover of so-called improvements. I find, generally speaking, the improvements are an eyesore. Picnic tables there. I wasn't sure. That. I don't know if you can see through there. That's the sort of platform that I was talking about, the wooden one straight down there. Yeah, many years ago when I first started, it was walkers only. You weren't allowed to ride bikes at all here, but now they actively encourage it. So I'll just let the bikers and the runners get past. No, you're all right. But it is lovely for the dogs to be able to have a run up here. And that's exactly what I use the fishing platforms for. I go and have a sit on them sometimes, just sitting out over the lake. I have thought actually of bringing my gong up here and just gonging across the lake. But I'm not sure whether I should just do it very early in the morning, or whether I should speak to the ranger first and say, look, I'm going to do it. But the thing is, I know it's naughty, but I've always been of the opinion, if you ask somebody's permission, it gives them the right to say no. You go ahead and do it, and then it's done and it's too late, and you know, you can always say, well, I'll never do it again. I don't know, am I right or am I wrong? And the older I get, the more I think, well, is it the older I get? I've always been a bit like it. I tend to have this, oh, that's a beautiful tree there. I tend to have this thing that general rules don't apply to me. If I see a fence, I've always just climbed over it. I think, well, I'm not doing any harm. I'm not going to do anything. I used to, in my 30s, I think it was about my 30s, I was already driving, and my hobby on days off was, in those days there were loads of derelict buildings, especially around this area. And I'd just go and find derelict buildings and go and explore. There were 2 mansion houses that were, one was actually locked up and had guards. And when I went across and found that, and the guards did come up and say, you know, you're not allowed here. And I said, look, I'm a woman on my own. What am I going to do? I'm not going to do any harm. I just wanted to have a look around. And they actually unlocked it and let me go and explore to my heart's content. But you know, I wasn't stripping it of metals or antiques or anything. It was completely emptied out by that time, so I wasn't doing any harm at all. Oh, this is where we bring the dogs down to the dog dip. Oh, here's Neil now. Are we going down that way?
Which way do you want to go?
We're down past the dog dip.
Yeah, cool.
I suppose in some ways it wasn't a very safe thing to do. The buildings were sometimes in a bit of a state, which they were. Exploring them on my own wasn't very sensible, but it was fun. I liked it. Hello. There's a dog who's just had a lovely swim. So this is where we bring our dogs if we take them around the back in the winter time, and they get absolutely filthy, because the Labradors especially will just go and lay in puddles and things, and if they just get too disgustingly dirty, then we'll bring them to this spot on the way back and let them swim off the worst of the mud and things. So this is Island Pond, dog dip area. They used to have like a little pier kind of thing that the dogs could, that Darcy used to use to dive from. And she would love to just leap it. Somewhere there's video of her doing it where she just dive like Tom Daley, straight from the board into the water. But it was okay her doing it here because I knew that the water was safe where she was going into. There wasn't sort of tree roots stuck up or something that she could damage herself on. I used to worry that she'd swim out as far as the ducks, but she never did. Alright, there's some people coming past and cyclists and dogs and runners. So these are defined as two lakes, but actually there's pretty much the same lake with just a bit of land going between the two. So that's the main one that we went past earlier. All glistening in the sunlight, and it's full of fish. It's actually a flooded valley, and as you go down the other end, it's very, very dangerous because there's still all the old trees and shrubs. It's very deep, and underneath the water it's trees and shrubs. And tragically, many, many years ago, I mean, Tony's in his 40s now, and when he was a teenager, one of his friends drowned dove into the lake, got tangled up in all the matter underneath and drowned. He was only about 14, bless him. And then this is the other side. And yet, having said that, back in the 19th century, there are photos. I've seen photos of people swimming in the lake, so they have swum in it in the past. I suppose if you know that there's a danger and you stick around the edges and don't dive down the middle, then you're safe enough. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise. Thank you very much. Well, I have no idea why Neil didn't tell them not to wait. Oh dear. Yeah, so this is Island Pond. No fishing, no swimming. That's one that we've just been coming past. Why didn't you tell the people not to wait?
I did.
Oh. Well, can't tell some people, can you? Thank you.
See you every day.
Right, heading down this way. I was saying the other day about the fire that we had. And we're just heading up now to the area of where the fire was all those years ago. I suppose with all this social distancing, it's a bit of a face-off with people trying to get past each other. So I'll just go down the side and Neil always creates a lot of attention when he goes out on his... It was all this part that had the fire. This part to the right. I suppose the footpath, which was, I think in those days it was like wood chip. You would think that if the flat ground was dry enough for the fire to go across, you would think it would go across the wood chip, but it didn't. Well, maybe it did, maybe my memory's gone, maybe it was both sides. I love trees that grow like this. They just have so much personality. And birdsong doesn't seem to be nearly as loud today as it's been the last few days. And I don't know if it's just me, but the last few days they seem to have been much louder than I remember in other years. But that could just be my memory going completely. But you can see all the undergrowth, and so you can imagine when it all caught fire that so much of it just burned through. And this park is teeming with deer. It's full of roe deer. And I often wonder where they are in the daytime. You know, because we've often seen them in the evening, you know, walking through, crossing paths and things. Unlike the big fields where they have herds of deer, when they're out in the forest, they just seem to disappear. Lovely old bendy oak there. Neil stopped and he's just looking at me, and it's very hard to tell from his expression whether he's happy or not. He's always got the same face. I didn't know if you were glaring at me or not, or if you were waiting for me or not.
I was just kind of waiting for you, because I didn't want to just cruise off and leave you for too long.
Oh, I'm just
Remembering.
Well, I'm just chattering away, talking about nothing in particular. Just so anyone who wants to have a wander around the park who isn't able to right now can just join me, and I just talk as if you were walking next to me. Right, the middle bit here isn't at the moment fenced off. That means they're working on that bit, they're doing something or other, so there'll be a sign here saying what they're doing and why, because this is a very managed area. Managing woodland as a coppice is important for wildlife. Coppicing may look drastic, but is essential for much of our best loved woodland wildlife, which may be threatened with extinction if this is not continued. Basically, they need to take some of the higher leaves down so that the light can get down. Well, you can pause the video and read it all, I suppose. I hope that's still enough for you to pause it if you want to, but and it says help wildlife by supporting the coppicing industry, buy local logs, charcoal and other wood products. As I was saying the other day on another video, you know, this whole area all around the St Leonard's Forest, there's bluebells through the trees there. It's so pretty. Right out into Ashdown Forest was major charcoal area, so they've always coppiced the trees. Oh, I was going to take you to the Hawthwoods as well, wasn't I? So I could show you the iron dens. Now in this forest, in this park somewhere, there's an old built up rabbit warren where they used to farm rabbits. But I don't know exactly where it is. It's hard to see these things when they're just a lump in the ground if you don't know actually what you're looking for. And there's some more bluebells just through there. I love this time of year in the woodlands. I love every time of year in the woods. And I think that's especially why I like to come here on my own when nobody else is here. Just so I can enjoy the entire place all by myself. I'm not very good at sharing when it comes to woods and forest areas. I'm quite happy to share everything else I've got. I'll share my food, I'll share my... whatever I've got, I'll share. I'll share my home. But I get very possessive over my trees and my forest. But I'll share it with you in the only way that I can. And now we've got this technology, it would be remiss of me not to, wouldn't it? If you're stuck somewhere and you can't get out, and I suppose under today's rules perhaps I shouldn't be coming around here on my mobility scooter, but I need to get out. And at some point I will stop and take my daily walk, which won't be for very far. You've seen how far I can go and that's not a long way. But because I started filming at the sheep, I just thought, well, I'll bring you along for a bit of a ride. Take a slow journey round and then we can just enjoy the park together. Oh, there's a gap through the fence there. I'm always thinking about gaps through fences. Oh, I could get in that bit. Should we go up to the meadow? That's that way, isn't it?
Yep.
I did think about doing this on a 360-degree camera so that you could then choose which bits you wanted to look at yourselves. I also thought of using, I bought a helmet when I had my electric scooter, not this mobility scooter, I actually bought an electric scooter so that I could go out with Neil. But it was such a disaster, I just kept falling off and I was actually becoming dangerous to myself. But I bought a helmet for that I could fit a camera too. And I did think of wearing that to come round and film with you, but I think I'd look a total brat. Do I care? Am I now old enough for it not to matter? Oh, who knows? I can just hear the traffic still from the motorway, because we're not that far from the motorway and from the roads that we crossed to come here. but the bird song is louder than the traffic at the moment, so I hope that you can hear that. Lovely holly bush there. Did you know that holly trees, if they grow tall enough, their leaves lose their sharp bits? Once they're high enough for animals to not eat the leaves. I think you can see some there maybe. Sun just coming through that side. So pretty. We're just coming round to where we collected our black. Oh, that's a really pretty patch of bluebells there. It was just around this bit that we were picking blackberries last year. These bits around here are covered in the blackberries. I don't know what this sign is saying, can't read it. Help best. Help us to restore this wildflower meadow, an important source of pollen, by keeping to the path. Thank you. Oh, he's obviously not read that. I must tell him. Just want to show you this seat, and then I think we'll end the film there, because I think this is rather a lovely seat. It's all carved and it's rather wonderful. Isn't that something else? Well, thank you for sticking with me this far. I hope you've enjoyed your ramble through the forest with me. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe.